Love, Death and Robots, Black Mirror, Star Wars Visions, Pokemon Generations. Some of the most popular shows are anthology series, where each episode follows a completely new story and a completely new character. Nintendo has dabbled with television series before, to middling success. But what if they made an anthology series? I decided to take on the task of making a Super Mario Bros. Anthology. In order to make this TV show, the Mario cast had to go through a couple of changes. I decided to redraw around 10 characters, making small adjustments to their designs to better suit them for 2D TV animation, either for rigging or for traditional animation. I will go through my thought process for each design, and then pitch my idea for a standalone episode for each character. Let me know what you guys think. I started off with Mario. He's the game series' main character, so I wanted to use his design as a base for the visual language for the rest of the characters. I wanted to move more into the fat and round aesthetic for Mario, much like his appearances in the Mario RPG remake and Mario Kart World. Speaking of Mario Kart World, I took a page out of their book and made his arms longer and his hands bigger. This is one of the more drastic changes I made to all of the characters, which I will explain later.
And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
This follows your standard Super Mario story. Bowser kidnaps Peach and traps her in his castle. Mario goes on a journey to rescue her, going through world after world, obstacle after obstacle. At Bowser's castle, it's revealed that Bowser is just having a tea party with Peach. He invites Mario. However, it turns out that Bowser is really into tea parties and is forcing them to stay at the table, probably forever. So, Mario and Peach escape. Bullet Bills and Koopa Troopers chase after him. Tea starts spilling out of the walls of the castle. They both narrowly escape, and Bowser falls into a giant teapot, burning off his skin. Luigi's design shares a lot of the same DNA as Mario, just taller and skinnier. I also gave him the Poltergust 3000 as a prop, since he will be using that in his episode. Now, onto the arms. When posing 2D characters, silhouette is key. Imagine if the whole character was blacked out. If the arms were shorter, it would be harder for the viewer to read the pose. The elbows would get lost in the torso. Lengthening the arms will help with clarity.
Hello, Mario.
Luigi is trying to sell his newly acquired mansion, but King Boo and his lackeys keep on scaring the guests away. This goes back and forth for a while. As soon as a potential buyer shows up, a ghost pops out of nowhere and Luigi has to clean up their mess. This goes on until Kamek shows up, but the ghost pranks don't scare him off. He imagines the building as a potential haunted house, and then quickly buys it. He immediately renovates it with magic, which scares Luigi away. Peach was a fun character to draw. I increased the size of her head to give the animators more room for facial expressions. I also played with the graphic shapes of her hair, along with the proportions of her crown. Now, you may have noticed something. All of the characters so far have 4 fingers instead of 5. There's 2 reasons why I made this change. Reason 1, more fingers mean more drawings for the animators. It's easy to animate 5 fingers on a 3D model, but with traditional 2D animation, each finger has to be redrawn for each pose, and those drawings add up. Reason 2, clarity. Just like with the arms, clarity is king, and extra fingers would get in the way of clear silhouettes. Actually, a lot of cartoons draw their human characters with 4 fingers, so this is no exception.
Bowser is coming.
Peach is struggling to balance her royal duties with her home life. She goes back and forth between signing documents, bike racing, knighting toads, playing tennis, coronations, and picnic with the gals. One day, she has had enough and slumps over her table in exhaustion. Toadette notices this. Being her second in command, she comes up with an idea. Toadette presents Peach with a flower crown and turns into Peachette. Peachette suggests dividing the workload between them both, and no one will suspect a thing. Peach learns that it's okay to accept help, and spends the rest of the day relaxing. Now, with the drop of the Nintendo Switch 2, Donkey Kong has gone through a pretty drastic set of redesigns in Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza. And while I prefer both designs to Rare's/Retro's DK, the Mario Kart one is just a bit too smooth. In my redesign, Donkey Kong has a couple tufts of hair scattered around his body, but not too much, so that the animators wouldn't explode, along with his new set of eyebrows, which will lend to some great expressions.
She can make Donkey Kong
Mario and Pauline are singing karaoke together, until crash! A hand grabs Pauline from outside the wall. Mario looks everywhere around New Donk City, and sees Donkey Kong atop a skyscraper, with Pauline in his arm. Mario climbs up the metal beams, akin to the arcade game, reaches the top, and confronts the ape. It's revealed that Donkey Kong just wants to learn how to sing from Pauline. Mario realizes his biases, and they all put on a performance at the top of the skyscraper. Okay, we've been neglecting my boy Bowser. Unfortunately, he won't be given an episode. The next character will be the focus for episode 5. Nevertheless, I decided to give him some changes. The first of which was changing his shape language from circle-centric to more square-focused. This gives him a more menacing, strong look. Plus, I never really liked how his face was separated into different balls. In my opinion, it looks weird. Anyway, I also made him top-heavy, with longer arms and smaller legs. That's right, Goomba is getting an episode. There's not much I changed from his design, aside from making his eyebrows and feet a little more angular. So let's just move on to his episode. Goomba is hanging out with his enemy friends, but he struggles to do the same things they can do, because he doesn't have any arms. He can't drive a go-kart, he can't roll the dice in Mario Party, and he can't swing the bat in baseball. Miserable. One day, he sees a Koopa Trooper, who can't reach a question coin block. The Koopa Trooper thinks for a while, then tucks into his shell, revs up, and shoots off a wall, then a ramp, then into a pipe, then spits out and hits the question coin block. Witnessing this, Goomba realizes he has more potential than what he first thought. He just has to be creative. So, he has his Goomba buddies stack on his head and steer the wheel as he drives. He places a note block underneath the dice to throw it, and he swings the baseball bat with his teeth, hitting a home run. I decided to give Yoshi a more angular nose. This gives his silhouette a more interesting shape, and will make it clear to the viewer which direction he is facing at a quick glance. I also decided to give him larger fingertips to differentiate him from the humans. For Birdo, I decided to reuse the same proportions as Yoshi, but changed a few key features. Her legs are thicker, she has no lower jaw, and her upper eyelids are bigger. Similar to Yoshi's nose, I angled Birdo's snout forwards for some visual interest. Yoshi and Birdo run a hair salon where Yoshi styles hair with his tongue, and Birdo blow dries it with her snout. They treat many customers, such as Peach, Daisy, and even Toadette. Things go smoothly, until Dry Bowser shows up with his lackeys. They try to style Dry Bowser's hair, but it ends up crumbling to ash due to its dry nature. The bony creatures start to get angry. However, the two dinosaurs come up with an idea. They can moisturize the dry creatures. Yoshi licks them up nice and clean, and Birdo dries them off in the sauna. They change the name of their business to include a spa. People from all across the Mushroom Kingdom line up to Yoshi's and Birdo's shampoo parlor and spa. I had a lot of fun with Bowser Jr. Whereas Bowser's shape language revolved around squares, Bowser Jr. was modeled around a triangle. This emphasizes his aggressive, rambunctious nature. One thing I want to note in this section is color economy. All the characters share the same color palette. The yellow on the Bowsers are the same as the yellow on Peach's hair, and Yoshi and Luigi share the same green. Even the red on Bowser Jr.'s bib is reused on the other characters. This creates unity between all of the characters, making them feel like they're in the same universe. The Koopalings have the castle all to themselves. Bowser leaves Bowser Jr. in charge. Jr. orders each Koopaling to do a chore. Ludwig has to clean the cannons. Morton mows the lawn. Iggy feeds the chain shop, and so on. Lemmy, being the youngest, only has to clean his toys. He has a clown car toy, and very much wishes to ride in the clown car one day. Each Koopaling doesn't want to do the work, so they give Lemmy their job with the promise of riding in the car. Lemmy does all of the chores, exhausting him. Bowser Jr. sees this and offers Lemmy a ride in the clown car with him. Lemmy gets what he wants, and the rest of the Koopalings are put in the timeout cage next to the chain chomp as punishment. Rosalina was probably the trickiest to design. I tried to shrink her down just a little bit, just because she was so tall, but I still don't know if she fits in with the rest of the cast. One thing I tried to keep in mind when drawing all of the characters was value contrast, meaning the difference between light and dark colours. A good character design has a wide range of dark and light tones. However, Rosalina was a struggle. When putting her in grayscale, she ended up looking all middle tone. I tried to remedy this by adding shadow to her hair, but I don't know if this got the job done. Let me know what you would do to fix this design. When the episode starts, we see everyone prepare for a party. A mysterious creature snatches Mario's hat, and we follow this creature to the Comet Observatory, where we see Rosalina look out into space. She crosses off a date marked on her calendar, and then looks at a picture of herself as a kid. What could she be thinking? Rosalina travels through space, doing odd jobs such as cleaning up garbage, feeding a hungry Luma, and helping Captain Toad with his crashed ship. Back at the observatory, baby Luma shows Rosalina an invitation. They both travel to the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario is reunited with his hat, and they all wish Rosalina a happy birthday. So, that was my idea for a Super Mario Bros. Anthology series. I tried to focus each episode on a new character following a unique story. I can imagine a show like this working well on either a streaming service or uploaded to YouTube as a series of shorts. If you have any critiques on my designs, please let me know in the comments. This video took a long time to make, so I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to see more from me, please subscribe to see more content surrounding character design and animation. Anyway, that's all for now. I'll see you guys later. Bye!